Now, the simple fact is this, brothers and sisters, is that the attacks that we're going to see is that we're going to be told that you've got to pay the price for this recession. The bankers, we all know, the corruption and the greed caused this crisis, and they're going to walk away scot-free. They're still going to get their bonuses, and if they don't get their share dividends this year, when they cash their share dividends in years to come, they'll make up for all the profit. The Times newspaper, a rich multinational newspaper, produced 8 weeks ago the top rich list in Britain. And the top 10% of rich people in Britain, through this biggest recession we've had for 70 years, have increased their profits by 70% in that period in time. Unbelievable. Now who's going to be paying for it now? Those 200 people that are losing their jobs as station assistants. They're losing it. The workers in the hospitals be losing it. Workers right across the piece are going to be told to pay for this crisis. And you know, they've really got a problem, haven't they? Because the old saying about Henry Ford, when he went around with the shop steward, some 50, 60 years ago, rings true now. When he walked around and said, Henry Ford, to a leading shop steward, see these cars here? You've got loads of workers working on them. One day we'll get robots to build those cars. And the shop steward said, fine, you get robots to build those cars, but you can't get robots to buy the cars that you make. So there's the contradiction. Technology can be a fantastic thing if it means that we all work less, we have more time off, we have more annual leave, and we get more of a social conscience to the profits that come out of it. But of course the bosses don't want that. They want technology to throw people onto the dole queues and the unemployed, and they want it to build even bigger profits for themselves. So hence reason, brothers and sisters, what we've got to see is a multinational, multi-country, multi-worker fight back. And the only people that can stand in the way of basically slavery is the organised trade union movement. Because those workers that are brought in from other countries to undermine your terms and conditions are not the enemy. The people who are the enemy is the system that allows workers to compete against each other to cut people's pay terms and conditions. So it's our job to organise in our own depot, our job to organise in our own country, and our job to reach out to everyone throughout the length and breadth of the world to help organise those people that are under the cosh at this moment in time. And I've got to say, brothers and sisters, I think myself that we've got a golden opportunity here and a different kind of society out there. Are we still going to carry on allowing a small group of multinationals to dictate whether we get a decent pension, whether we get decent holidays, whether we have decent pensions and we get rid of poverty for kids? Is that the kind of system do we want? Or do we want a society that's built on a job, decent pay, decent hospitals, decent schooling, and a world that lives in peace? You know, in Britain at the moment, they're going to build, we're supposed to be skint, and we've spent 155 billion, e.g. $250 billion more than what's come in for this deficit, and they're saying the world's going to come to an end in Britain if we don't pay this deficit back. It's only a third of what it was after World War II. Only a third of it. And after World War II, a country that was bankrupt went and built 1 million houses in 2 years and got its people back to work. Now I'm just a simple lad, a railway worker, a construction railway worker, not like the easy job that John Samuelson does as a track inspector, but a person who actually goes out there and works. Heavy construction worker. And I've got to say this, I'm a simple bloke. How can we have a situation where we've got unemployed builders on the dole and we've got a shortage of houses? Surely you get the builders off the dole queues and let them build houses and put the people that are homeless into the houses. That's a simple situation. They want to spend now $100 billion on a new Trident nuclear weapon program. Now where are they going to aim it at? We was told for years that the Russians were going to invade us at any time. I remember going to school and my teacher saying to me, be careful when you go home at night. There may be a red under the bed. And every night I used to go home and look under my bed. There was no red under the bed. And of course the Soviet Union's gone now, and they're our friends, they're business partners now. So who's going to be the new enemy? We then get told that the terrorists are the real enemy. The person who jumps on a train like he did in London, with a rucksack on his back and blows people up. Well, fine. But I'll tell you what, you have all the true Trident nuclear weapons you want in the world. You can't point at someone with a rucksack on his back and tell him not to jump on trains and blow people up. It's a political solution that we need to stop what's going on. And of course, we're opposed to terrorism. Of course we stand for peace. But terrorism means not just tell other people in other countries to stop it. You've got to start doing it yourself before you start telling other people as well. So brothers and sisters, I think the message has got to be from this conference. It's been a fantastic 3-day event. And I'd like to thank the TW100 for having the opportunity, through having the vision of bringing this conference together. But your point is, brothers and sisters, is not just pointing writing resolutions, having conferences. We've got to take physical action to defend ourselves. And the one thing that we should turn around and say, that if any group of workers in struggle, e.g. our comrades in Athens, in Greece at the moment, who are under massive attack, who've been on strike for 3 days, truck workers out there, moving oil, who've been told they've got to get back to work, and they're still standing firm, because they've been cut with their pay and cut with their conditions and been told that they can't negotiate a pay rise for the next 4 years. Anything we can do to help the Greek workers, we should be doing it. And it makes no difference what country is standing up. We stand for independent, democratic, free trade unionism, and when the workers in struggle, then we give them support. We don't just say phrases because they're good, and it sounds good. An injury to one is an injury to all. Unity is strength. They're not just phrases that we just like saying from the touchlines. They're things that we have taught this trade union movement of ours. What they actually mean is strength is in unity, and when we're divided, we're weak. So this conference gives us the opportunity, brothers and sisters, to turn around and say that these meetings give us an opportunity to reaffirm our belief in what we stand in, our commitment to industrial trade unionism, and a commitment to a different kind of world that puts the workers first and puts workers' needs first instead of profit. And I thank the TWU and thanks for the opportunity for speaking in New York this week. Thank you very much.